Week 3 is here, and the Buffalo Bills are already 3-0, and we are about to kick off another wild Sunday in the NFL. Hey guys, welcome to the 716 Sports Entertainment Podcast, where we are going to break down the game that was on Thursday as our Buffalo Bills made it a little bit more uncomfortable than we probably needed it to be against the Miami Dolphins. And then we will look ahead to the week that is coming up for you guys today. So, welcome to the show. As always, I'm Mike with 716 Sports Entertainment Podcast, joined by my left, Mr. T. Reese, and to my south by Mr. Sean O'Neill. And fellas, how did we feel about that Bills 31-21 win over the Miami Dolphins on Thursday?
Awesome. I mean, this team is showing you that they can win any way possible. Like, there's not one time in that game I really felt like Miami was going to win that game. It was just a little more frustrating with watching the defensive line not really getting to Tua, who's like the most sacked quarterback in the league right now. And I just still didn't feel as though that Buffalo didn't have that game in full. They were in full control of that game. But you have to give credit to the fact that Josh has now become a quarterback like Brady, where he can do what needs to be done to win the game. He can go with the short game, he can go with the long game, he uses legs, he can run play actions. I mean, he's the complete quarterback. I don't think there's any other quarterback that's touching him right now. So, I mean, you can call me a homer, but there's no other quarterback in the league right now that can do what Josh Allen is doing. Mahomes cannot do what Josh Allen is doing. The guy's in full control. He can adjust the game plan and adjust what he wants to do during a play. You can see him reading the defenses and controlling everything like a maestro out there. And that's what we've been waiting for from Josh. And I think we're finally seeing it. We're finally seeing, in my opinion, in NFL history, the most complete quarterback to ever play the game. He can do everything. And I have no doubt in Josh ever. No more. Not after watching, especially these first 3 games. There's no doubt about Josh right now. Defense, though, we got
I was
some
waiting
problems.
for it. I was waiting for it.
We got some problems. I mean, this third down defense crap is still popping up. And when you keep putting out people like, and unfortunately, he's in there because of an injury. But when you keep trotting out Trey White and him giving up 6, 7, 8-yard cushions down in the red zone, this is why you can't get off on third downs, because you just don't have anybody else that can press up on the other receivers, especially when you have a team like Miami who has, 2 really good wide receivers. And you find these little holes. And that's the only reason why they came back was third down defense. That's the only reason why they were in that game, because the defense couldn't get them off the field. 3rd and 4. Why are we giving a 6-yard, 7, 8-yard cushion on 3rd and 4?
Yeah. I want to challenge you on some stuff, but Sean, I'll let you go first.
Even worse was the 3rd and longs that they kept converting on. There were several of them where it was like 3rd and 10, 3rd and 9, and they were converting on those. And those are the ones you should be stopping them on. You have no excuse for that. And I mean, Nick Bosa is probably the highlight of the Bills defense. Joey Bosa, sorry, wrong Bosa. Joey Bosa is probably the highlight of the Bills defense. He has definitely shown that he is still raring to go. And he's all over the field. But you're right about Allen. I was watching a thing, they were talking about how Allen had like no long passes at all Thursday night. And it was very Tom Brady-esque, the way that he was just picking them apart in the short game. And I'm glad to see that Shakir finally got into the scoring action here. And James Cook, I mean, just keeps doing what he needs to with these runs. I mean, yeah, they keep calling the up the middle, but he's still gaining positive yardage on almost all of them. Mm-hmm. And I think, like you said, Terrence, it's not just Allen, but as an offense, they're definitely showing a lot that they need to be feared. And I like it.
It was nice to see Kincaid get involved too. I think I said before we started the season, he's my one player that needs to step it up a lot for this offense, and it looked like he did. But the thing I want to challenge a little bit is, one, a lot of people were expecting a blowout here, obviously, with the 12.5 point line. And one of the thing that worries me about the Bills, right? And I have no doubt in my mind that they're going to do very well this year, win 13, 14, or 15 games this year, right? They'll probably drop a couple, but 13, 14, 15 wins does not seem unrealistic for the way that this team is playing. But my problem is twofold. One, I don't like it that they take their foot off the gas a little bit because it seemed like in the second half they took their foot off the gas. Like they were playing it safe. And I love there's a stat out there that says that in his last 12 or so games, including the playoffs, Josh Allen has one turnover, which is amazing, And I agree with everything you guys said. Josh Allen is amazing. I think he's the best quarterback in the league playing the game right now. Not the best overall, not the greatest of all time or anything else like that. I still think he's got a ways to go to catch Mahomes with the championships and stuff like that. But right now, playing the game, he's special and he can do things that nobody else can do. But I don't like that. It just seems like coaching again continues to kind of fail us. And McD, I don't know if he just like wants to play it too safe or whatnot, but like that game should have it should have not have been as close as it was. We should have blown that team out. And I don't need it to be a blowout, but like it never needed to be that close. It never needed to be as close as it was. And we should not have needed like that field goal and that stupid penalty that Miami, inflicted on themselves to basically continue that drive for us because that was huge, right? That roughing the kicker penalty was huge. And I don't want a bullshit penalty from a bad team or Tua being one of the worst quarterbacks ever for us to have been the reason why we win the game. We should have smoked that team and never should have been that close.
I mean, divisional games can be tough just because it's a division game. Those always play out a little bit different than you'd expect. But it's always been a problem for me with the Bills, the whole taking the foot off the gas. They've done it the entire time under McDermott. Anytime that they're ahead, I mean, how many times have they let people not all the way back into games, but let teams score and get closer because they're playing prevent defense, things like that. And I always like the joke that all prevent defense does is prevent you from winning. So,
well, I don't even think they played to prevent defense. That wasn't, just from
I
my
just mean in
side,
general.
I don't think that was the issue at all. I think a lot of the issue came down to there's certain spots in the game where you need a number one wide receiver. You absolutely do. I mean, we can't deny that. I think everyone would agree with that. The Bills are trying to go against the grain, kind of like New England-esque, of the 2000s of just getting everybody involved. You don't need a number one. You just pinpoint and adjust your game plan to what the defense is giving you. But what Miami was doing defensively was they were playing with 2, 3, and 4 safeties high, stopping the Bills. That's what the Bills were calling, downfield plays. They just couldn't get them out there because of the type of defense Miami was playing. What you really needed was hopefully the run game would, suffice to get those extra yards that you need to get the first downs. It's not going to, I mean, you can't do that every game, but I think that the Bills knew they were in control of it. So as a team, you're in control of this game. I'm not going to keep trying to force the ball down the field, force injuries or some sort of turnover. I'll just eat the clock. The problem was you had the missed field goal, which turned the tide a little bit, gave Miami a little bit of life, which I don't know why even explained, or did anybody even question Prater what the heck happened there? I mean, that ball just went sailing all the way to the left, right, almost into the crowd. So, I mean, that was an issue. And then obviously the penalties are but that's what makes good teams. I mean, KC's been getting away with that forever. How many times we watch KC games and a team will have them in hand, Cleveland will have them in hand, about to win the game or can win the game, and they fumble the ball.
Yep.
They throw an interception. I mean, this is what good teams do. You screw up. That's why we're a good team and you're not. You're going to screw up at some point. And when you screw up is where we capitalize. And KC's done it. New England's done it forever. I mean, this is what you do. Philadelphia, that's what they predicate their entire team on, is you messing up. They don't do nothing flashy. They don't do nothing offensively that scares you other than that stupid tush push. But they wait for you to mess up. And the thing with the Bills, though, is they can score when you mess up. So if you mess up, it's a detriment to your team, and you have to play a perfect game. The problem for them is defense. Third downs. You have no corners that can press up. Benford has been okay. I don't know. Everyone's giving him all this praise. He's been okay, but he can't cover over patterns at all. As soon as somebody goes on the inside, he cannot cover it, and because he doesn't have the athleticism or the speed to do it. That's why you need your defensive line to get a pass rush. I mean, I'm sitting there watching Tua sit back here for over 3 seconds, throwing the ball. I mean, just enough time for Tyreek or somebody to squeeze out on the over route to get open. Where was your interior pressure? I think they hurt not having Big Ed out there. You needed somebody, and the two rookies, I thought they were okay. I mean, there's one play at the end of the game Deion Walker made that forced him to throw the interception, but we had to wait for the end of the game for somebody on the inside to do anything. And can I ask this question? Is Greg Russo on this team? I've been watching this guy for 3 games now, looking at him. He does not pass rush. He does not rush the quarterback. He literally just goes up the field and stands there. And we just paid this guy a contract to do that. We gave him $20 million a year to be a containing defensive end. What other team is paying a containing defensive end $20 million?
I'll have to watch him more.
Right. And that's where your problem is. You got no interior pressure, and you have only one defensive end is actually getting pressure on the quarterback right now, and that's Bosa.
So, do you think that this defense, if this defense had all of its pieces, do you think it would be better?
Yeah.
Like Oliver, Milano, Ogunjobi, Hairston. You put those 4 guys back into this defense. Do you think that this defense is remarkably better?
Yes, I think Hoyt is the key
Hoyt
point. Because he's an everything type of linebacker defensive end. He can play in the middle. You can put him inside on the defensive line and rush on a blitz. You put him outside. He can do multiple things, and their plan was to use him in that fashion. And I think the reason why he got signed by the Bills is because he's only going to be out for the first 6 games, which doesn't matter to us because we're playing a lot of bottom feeders in the first 6 games. You really need him for after the bye, where you're going against more of the top ranked teams. I think this defense is going to look a lot better. I think Ogunjobi probably will help out. I don't think he's much of a pass rusher, but he will help out with the interior, with rushing, with stopping the run. But right, and I do think we don't know about Max Harrison is a question we don't know. And because we don't know, I think a lot of us are just like, these guys have got to get on the field because we need something new in this defense. They're doing a terrible job at blitzing. You can't keep Milano on the field. So, I mean, I did like Dorian Williams when he came in. He laid some hits out there. I did like Shaq Thompson showing up big, but Shaq Thompson's a detriment in coverage. So was Dorian Williams. So those are some points. But they got to figure something out. They got to get something on with this D-line because this has been an issue again. It should not be because Ogunjobi's not playing that your defensive line still is not getting enough pressure on the quarterback. We're doing a better job against the run, but we're just not. There's no way Tua should have been able to sit back there as long as he did. There's no reason for it. None. You got these big horses in the middle, and they had no impact on it.
Who do Hoyt and Ogunjobi replace?
Well, I think Solomon's going to get sat down for Ogunjobi. And I think that, or not for Hoyt. And I think you probably are going to rotate here and there. You're probably going to rotate maybe TJ Sanders and him, depending on what team you play against that week, because he's been ineffective. TJ Sanders has been ineffective completely. They haven't really got much out of this rookie class other than the Hawks kid, because Harrison's out, so we don't know what he's going to do. TJ Sanders hasn't really had any impression in any game since he's been playing. What's his face? The other linebacker?
Donovan?
Defensive tackle.
Landon?
No, he's an end. I just brought his name up. The big guy. Was he 6'6", 6'7"?
Oh, yeah. Dorian Williams?
Yeah, why is my brain freezing right now? But either way, he had some moments, some pop here and there, but it hasn't been nothing where he's completely dominated or shown anything that he can really control the game in the middle. He's still young. But your defensive ends, I think, are your biggest issue. AJ Epineza, where are you? Why didn't we trade this guy? He does nothing on the field. He does the same thing Rousseau does. Run up the field, stand there. And that sounds like to me either the coaches are telling them not to rush the passer, or that's all they're good at. And I'm not paying these guys. You gave AJ Epineza a contract and you gave Rousseau a contract, and neither one of them doing anything. Rousseau should be like a rotational defensive end on any other team. He has the physical. Physically, he looks good. He doesn't have the football ability to rush a quarterback. He just doesn't.
And I honestly, like, looking ahead to our game next week, or even the next couple of weeks, I don't really think that we're going to be able to get much out of it either, because I think they're going to kill the Saints. Like, I mean, they're going to probably be like an 18-point favorite against the Saints
Here.
next week. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's here. I mean, the Saints are probably going to get blown out today. They're playing the Seahawks in Seattle. They're gonna get killed, right? So it'll probably be an 18 point. So there's no way you're gonna know. You've got Spencer Rattler coming to town. Like, I mean, McDermott always smokes rookie quarterbacks. Like, I have no
Yeah.
doubt that they'll smoke this one as well, right? And then you got the Patriots coming here as well, and they suck. And then you got a decent test against Atlanta, and then you have the bye, right? Like, then Kansas City. Like, then things get a little bit more interesting. But then half your team should be back after the bye, because that 6-game suspension will have been up. So I don't know. I hope things can improve a little bit, because I think that that's going to be the one thing that keeps us from making a run in the postseason, right? If we get the 1 seed, that's huge. We'll very likely end up playing the 4 or the 5 in the divisional round, which might be Kansas City. So, we'll certainly see how that whole thing shakes out. So, but before we go around the league, did you guys have any final thoughts on the game that was, or anything look forward ahead to the Saints?
We're on to New Orleans.
Yep, one game at a time. I'm happy with how they're looking for the most part. I just hope they can continue it.
Okay, let's go around the league then. And when we get to the end of the scheduled week, we will provide you guys with our best bet, and we will luckily all be able to continue on our survivor pick here, because somehow miraculously we all made it to this next week here. So let's take a look at the 1 o'clock slate first, and we'll go all the way to the Sunday night game. And then we'll talk to you guys tomorrow, obviously, about the big one that's coming up on Monday night between Baltimore and Detroit, which should be a real good one. So first we have the Green Bay Packers are visiting the Cleveland Browns. The Packers are 7.5-point favorite, and the line is 41.5. I think this is going to be a blowout. I think Green Bay is going to kill them. I mean, maybe a little low scoring, but I think Green Bay is going to win this like 24-7, or something like that. Green Bay's got a good defense.
Green Bay has, ever since last year, Green Bay's defense has been real good. And them adding Micah Parsons, even though I'm still convinced he doesn't make it through the full year, is huge. I think Green Bay puts up, even though Cleveland's had a better defense and they held Baltimore in check for a little while, I think Green Bay just outclasses them, even with Dobbs hurt. And I think that Green Bay wins significantly. I would say under as well.
I think this game's gonna be close.
Really?
Yeah, that's an NFC team traveling over to an AFC team at home who they don't play very often. So I think that you're going to probably don't forget Cleveland has a good defense. They don't have a bad defense. It's just about their offense getting rolling. And I think that this game's going to be a lot closer than people think. I don't think it's going to be a blowout. I mean, if Cleveland can somewhat get some sort of a passing game going against Green Bay, I can probably see it. What is it, 41? I think it's it. Yeah. So I can probably see it make the 41. Just right at 41. I don't know if it's going to go over 41 points. I can probably see like a 21-10 type game, 21-14 type game. I think this game is going to surprise a lot of people. And then you're taking, again, that's another thing people don't pay attention to, is when you take people from two different conferences who don't play each other very well or very often. So this would be the first time that generally Green Bay will be in Cleveland a very long time.
Yeah.
And I think this game is going to be a lot closer than people think. I do think Green Bay wins, but I don't. I'm not expecting a blowout.
You got a lot of 2-0 teams and a lot of 0-2 teams playing this week, and there's stats all over the place out there about how once you get to 0-3, it's next to impossible, right, to like save your season. So some of these teams that are on that 0-3 bubble, they're going to play hard, I think,
Mm-hmm.
and like you're really going to need, I still don't, I think Green Bay is just too much better than the Browns, and I just can't see the Browns winning, but maybe you're right. Maybe they keep it competitive.
I mean, Cleveland has something. I mean, Miami had something to fight for when they played against us. They were 0-2, so you're going to get
Yeah.
a fight. So I think these teams that are 0-2, especially if they're at home, you're going to see some fight.
Speaking of another 2-0 versus an 0-2 team, you have the Indianapolis Colts visiting the Tennessee Titans. 2-0 Colts, 0-2 Titans. The line is 5.5 for the Colts, and the spread is 43.5. I think the Colts are going to roll here. Danny Dimes is going to continue his comeback player of the year campaign here, and I mean Tennessee might be a little bit better, but I see no universe where the Colts don't roll them. The
Yeah,
Colts
we'll
have
see how
looked
long this Danny Dimes thing holds up. I don't think it's sustainable. I think this is just early part of the season for him. I think we've seen who Danny is. I think this is just a new offense. Defense are still getting used to him being over there. We'll see how it goes halfway point of the season. But I do think at this point, I mean, Tennessee is not a team I would have picked that's going to beat them, though. I mean, they still have a good running game. They got a good defensive line. I do like the point margin. I would probably take the 5 points. I can see that happening. But I do expect Indy to win this.
Yeah, I think Indy is just an overall better team than Tennessee with them still in rebuild mode. And I think your comeback player of the year there is going to lead them to victory.
Next, we have the battle of backup quarterbacks as we have Jake Browning and the Cincinnati Bengals taking on Carson Wentz and the Minnesota Vikings. If this is in Minnesota, the line is Minnesota -3 and the spread is 42.5. I think this one's going to be interesting. I think there's going to be a lot of mistakes in this one. And I think that you're typically when mistakes happen, when turnovers happen, you see a very high scoring game. So I really like I think for all of the games, I really like the over to hit in this one a lot over that 42.5. I think it seems very likely that that is going to happen.
I agree. I do agree. Um, I would not. I'm be honest with you. I'm taking Cincinnati. I would take Cincinnati. I don't trust Carson Wentz with anything, any offense in this league. And I just think at some point in this game is going to rear up. I'm surprised he's even the backup still in this league. He should be a third stringer in most teams, if you ask me. He wouldn't accept being a third stringer anywhere. But there's nothing Carson Wentz. There's nothing about him that tells me he can win this game because he's never shown this anywhere he's been. Other than that first run he had with Philly before he got hurt before the Super Bowl, he has never shown that he can win games. And when it's on the line, he does what Tua does, turns the ball over. And I can probably see him turning the ball over in this game. I would go with Cincinnati just because of that, just who's quarterback of Minnesota. Now, if they had the McCarthy kid, even granted, he got hurt in that game last week. He wasn't the same kid the week before, but I still would. I would lean on McCarthy, but I would lean on Wentz. Be honest with you, if they were both playing, or if he was playing, but I lean on Cincinnati. I like Cincinnati to win this one.
I agree with T. I think Cincinnati has this one. I think it's definitely going to go over, though. I think this is probably going to be a high scoring game.
Mm.
Both have strong offenses, even without their starting quarterbacks. And I mean, Cincinnati doesn't really have much of a defense, and it looks like Minnesota's defense isn't that great either. So I think that has all the right ingredients to put together a high scoring game.
Yeah, agree. What is very likely going to be the game that we will get locally at the 1 o'clock window for CBS is the Steelers visiting Foxborough to take on the Patriots. Steelers are favored by 1. The line is 44.5. I don't really care about this game at
You know
all.
who does?
I mean, I think the Steelers probably take it just because I think up and down they're a better roster. than the Patriots, but I really don't care. I mean, I love to see New England lose, but at the same time, I also hate the Steelers, so I really don't care about this game at all. I just, I guess I probably, if I gun to my head, I'd probably take the Steelers.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. I'm with the Steelers on this one. I don't know what you would pick as far as the point spread or how many points or whatever. I would take the money line on this one.
Wow. T picking against New England. Never thought I'd see the day.
He and his
Um,
Patriots.
but I think this game hinges on what kind of mistakes Aaron Rodgers makes. Like 100%. I mean, if we get the Aaron Rodgers of the New York Jets that comes out, I mean, New England could win this game. I think that it's a safer bet overall to take Pittsburgh, but I'm very, very curious to see what form of Rodgers we get.
Next, we have the probably the best game in the 1 o'clock window between the 2-0 Rams and the 2-0 Eagles, and it is in Philadelphia. Philly is favored by 3.5, so basically a pick 'em, which is very interesting. Like, I mean, that the Eagles are, getting put down that much, but they haven't been that impressive.
Mm-mm.
But at the same time, that people are thinking that highly of the Rams, and the line is 45.5 here. I think the Rams got a real look at this. I think the Rams might win.
I
In
don't know.
Philly,
Go
I
ahead.
don't. A West Coast team traveling over here is always usually it goes awry for them. I think it'd be a good game. I mean, Philly hasn't been impressive because this is how they run their offense. I mean, it's killing me right now that I have him on my fantasy team, Jalen Hurts, because he has not thrown a touchdown pass in I don't know how long.
Yeah, got a few rushing, but no passing touchdowns.
AJ Brown has just been sitting there staring off into the sky. I have
Reading a
no
book.
idea.
Reading a book.
Literally, he's it's like they don't even. This is why I don't understand why wide receivers want to go to these teams to have quarterbacks like this. It's proven that Philly does not. I'm be honest with you. Hot take: Philly coaches do not believe in Jalen Hurts. That's why they're running the offense they're running, where it's predicated on running the ball effectively and just short little passes, where that Jalen Hurts can get out of trouble. Because we all know if you watch Jalen Hurts play ball, he can't read a defense if his life depended on it. He can't. He sits back and rolls out, roll. He does what Dak used to do: roll, take too far of a drop back in the pocket, starts rolling further back out when he starts getting a little pressure. He can't find. If you take away his first read, he struggles, and I think Philly knows that. I don't expect them to win the Super Bowl this year because I think they're limited because of their quarterback. You get rid of that tush push. I mean, fine, you could run it. The problem is that they play for the tush push, and I think that's why the league, other teams are upset with them because they play just to get third down and shorts every single snap.
Yeah.
They don't try to push the ball down the field. They don't try to run anything offensively with the receivers. They just try to get the third and short so they can run a tush push because they know that's their bread and butter. And I think, granted, as a football player, I get it. Like, you shouldn't be mad at what another team runs, in terms of, but that type of play is always going to favor the offense. It's always going to favor the offense. And when you're using that as an advantage, I think that league does have to step in and do something for the defense. Defense already has a hard enough time not being able to touch wide receivers or even breathing quarterbacks. Now you got the tush push where you have a team that's predicating their entire offense on it. I don't think this is going to last for Philly. I think Green Bay will beat them in the playoffs. But right now I would take Philly at home only because I don't West Coast teams traveling all the way over here. No, this never works out. Well, it doesn't work. It doesn't work out as often for them to win as it is to them to lose.
Philly being at home is the only reason I would take them. I think that, and I think that the Rams haven't looked quite as potent as they did last year. But I definitely think Philly has the advantage by being the home field.
Yeah, very low scoring Rams team for sure. I probably would take the under here, to be honest
I
with you.
would. Yep.
Next, we have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at home against our boy Tyrod Taylor and the New York Jets. Tampa's favored by a touchdown, and the line is 43. I mean, I think Tyrod will stabilize the ship a little bit here. And I know that the that sensational wide receiver, Amika Ugba, yeah, for the Bucks, I don't think he's playing.
Oh, they
Um,
announced he is. He's not healthy.
oh, is he gonna play? Okay, then yeah, Tampa probably rolls them.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
agree.
I
I don't know
agree.
if they roll. I think this game's gonna be tighter than what we thought it was gonna be.
Well, the Jets the same thing. They're 0-2, probably playing for their season, right? But I think Tampa's just way more talented up and down the roster. And you roll in a backup quarterback into an away game. It's tough. That's real tough.
Tampa by 7.
I think it's gonna be tighter. And I think I would take three
Yeah.
and a half. That's what I'd go under 7 for sure in this game because I think the Jets really got to play this week. I think their defense was embarrassed by last week, and they don't want to go 0-3 right now. And I think with the Rod coming in, I think that does stabilize that offense a little bit. They don't
Rod.
have weapons. I don't think they have a lot of weapons offensively, but I do think that it'll kind of balance out that offense a little bit where they won't have to really lean on the run game as much.
Yeah. Next, we have the 1-1 Raiders visiting the 1-1 Washington Commanders without Jaden Daniels. Washington is still favored by 3, and the line is 43.5. Who's starting for Washington if Daniels is out? Who's the backup?
Oh, you know what? I completely forgot. I forgot who it is. Is it?
Marcus Mariota.
Yeah, that's right.
Ooh.
Mark Mariota is the backup. Nah,
Raiders win.
that's a tough one. I'm not
I think
sure.
the Raiders win.
I probably would lean on the Raiders just because of who's the two quarterbacks, but we just saw Geno Smith look like. Well, I will take it back. A lot of that game was not Geno Smith. You know who it was? That new rookie running back.
Yeah. G&T.
He was confused. He didn't even know the plays.
Yeah.
He was running in wrong directions. He wasn't even pass blocking. They have a play. I don't know if anyone's seen it online, but there's a play where Geno's about to get sacked. He puts the worst effort I've ever seen of a running back trying to block somebody, and then doesn't even try to stay with it. Geno's running for his life, and he's just standing there watching it. So I don't know. Maybe they got in his butt or something this week, but I probably would lean on the Raiders.
Next, we have the Atlanta Falcons visiting the Carolina Panthers. Falcons did release their kicker, who cost them the game week 1. And brought in somebody new. Parker Romo, I believe, is the guy's name. Atlanta's favored by 4.5, and the line is 44. I like the over here. I think Carolina's not very good. I think Atlanta should probably roll them, and 4.5 is just enough for me to probably take Atlanta.
Mike
Divisional
Vick's gonna
divisional game, but I don't think it matters. I don't think Carolina's very good.
2025 Mike Vick is gonna lead the Falcons to victory.
Yeah, I think the Falcons have that one. I mean, I don't think any of us would ever take Carolina in any game this year.
No,
No.
they're likely going like 2-15 this year, maybe
Yeah.
3-14. They're not a good team. Next we have the Texans visiting the Jags. Jacksonville's favored by 1.5. The line is 43.5. The Texans are 0-2. I feel like if they want any shot at this at all, the Texans gotta win this game. Gotta win this game. I mean, their offensive line is horrendous, though. Probably the worst I've ever seen. So they got a big uphill battle, but they have a really good defense. So I could see this one being low scoring. But I don't know. I don't trust the Texans at all. I think Indy's got such a great path to
Jacksonville.
that 4 seed this year. They really do. I just don't think they're
What
very
what's Jacksonville's record?
1-1.
1-1. I think tenants or I think Houston has to win here. I mean, if Houston wants any shot at staying alive, I mean, they have to come out strong here. And I think they win by 2.
Yeah, I like the 3 point with them. I like 3 points. I think just because I don't know. It's just because I think the Jags are weird, man. Sometimes they're just games that just show up for. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? There's just games that they show up for, and this feels like to me it's one of those games they're going to show up for. So I don't know, man. I mean, you would have to take the Texans just because based off of past success, but I wouldn't surprise me if Jacksonville pulled this out like a last minute field goal.
Could
It
go
wouldn't
either way.
surprise me. So I don't know, man. I don't know who to pick. I mean, you can. I mean, I would take the Texans obviously just because past success, but it would shock me if Jacksonville won this with the last seconds of the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
Okay, moving to the 4 o'clock window. Probably the best game in the 4 o'clock window, I think, is between the 2-0 Chargers and the 1-1 Denver Broncos. But the Chargers are favored by 2.5, and this one's got a big line of 46.
Yeah.
That's cool.
The Chargers did lose Khalil Mack to IR for a dislocated shoulder.
Mhm.
But I think the Chargers continue to roll here. I've not been impressed with Denver this year at all. I don't even think Denver's going to make the postseason, to be completely honest with you. I'm not impressed with them at all.
No, Justin Herbert has. I mean, I don't know if it's just because it's early season and he's doing the Justin Herbert thing of showing up early only to fall off late, but he has been incredibly impressive to start the season. And I think that Bo Nix and Denver just haven't really. I don't know if it's going to be a sophomore slump for them or what, but the Chargers should run away with this one.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. Yeah, you know what? That AFC West is a weird one too. When they play each other,
Yeah,
I'm taking Denver. I'm taking
really.
Denver. Yeah, I'm taking Denver. I like Denver just
All right.
because it's a divisional game and those teams generally. I mean, don't forget now the Chargers only won with all the debacles that Geno Smith had last week. It was only 20-9 was the final.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, if the Raiders, if that game was against the Bills or against Baltimore, that's an easy 40 burger game.
Oh, yeah.
So for them to only put up 20 points and they were just getting the ball handed to them over and over again, that's not impressive to me.
The Chargers have like the biggest knock on the Chargers right now is they have no run game at all. Their run game is atrocious. That's why Herbert has to throw it all over the field because their run game is bad.
Who's their back?
Well, Marion Hampton is a rookie, but I don't. But he's not being used exclusively. I think they've been kind of doing like how the Bills do with multiple running backs playing in it. But the Hampton kid is supposed to be like their number one, but they don't really use them like that. So I take Denver. I take Denver.
Moving on, we have, I think, one of the biggest lines of the weekend. Seattle and the Saints in Seattle. Seattle's favored by 7.5, and the line is 41.5. I think Seattle's going to roll the Saints. I don't think the Saints
Mm,
are very good. I
yeah.
think I'm probably leaning towards this one being my survivor pick. Seattle's all right. They're pretty good, and I think our boy, what's his face,
Sam Darnold.
Sam Darnold continues just to roll here, and Spencer Rattler's gonna just Rattler all over himself.
Yeah,
I mean,
this game's not going to be exciting. It's just going to
No,
be one
I don't think
completely
anybody's gonna.
one-sided.
No one's gonna get this game outside of these markets.
Yeah, it's going to be completely one-sided this whole game.
see, I mean, Seattle should be 2-0. They only lost because Darnold got blindsided into a fumble in week one against San Francisco. And I mean, they've got a pretty good defense. Um, their running game is pretty good with Walker, and Darnold is the perfect is a great game manager. And against a team like New Orleans, I mean, I don't think New Orleans stands much of a chance here.
Next, we have probably going to be the highest scoring game of the weekend. Between Dallas Cowboys and the Chicago Bears, both teams that have no defense at all. Chicago had a 50 burger put up on them last week, and Dallas had almost a 40 burger put up on them the week before. So we should see about 75 points scored in this game. Dallas is favored by 1 in Chicago, and the line is 50.5. The Bears haven't won a game yet. Dallas 1-1.
I think the Bears
The
get the
Bears.
worst
Yep, the Bears.
just because they're at home. Two bad defenses. I take the home team.
And then the last game in the 4 o'clock window is I didn't realize both these teams were 2-0. The Cardinals and the 49ers in San Francisco. San Francisco's favored by 1, and the line is 44.5. And looks like Brock Purdy is not playing.
Purdy's out, I think, like they said, up to 5 weeks potentially.
Mm-hmm.
I think Arizona gets the win here. I think that Arizona has looked better, and I just think there's too many injuries on San Francisco.
Yeah. Yeah, I probably would lean that way. I like that. I just don't like I said, the thing with the 49ers is I think that they're living off names now. Like I don't think they're a good team. I just don't. I don't think they're a very good team this year. I think they're living off of previous success, like we've said about Houston. So I wouldn't be surprised if Arizona upsetted them. I wouldn't be surprised. So I'll be honest with you. I'm taking the Cards. I would take the Cards.
Yep.
Just because all the injuries that the 49ers have right now.
Then our Sunday night game is the 0-2, 0-2, 0-2, 0-2 Kansas City Chiefs visiting the 0-2 New York Giants at MetLife Stadium. The Chiefs are favored by 6, and the line is 45. Let's go, G-Men, all day. Let's go, G-Men.
I'm picking
Wouldn't
KC to go 0-3. I'm picking
they have
KC to go
the Russell Wilson and the Giants have the opportunity to do the funniest thing in the world this tonight. Let's go, Giants.
So Malik Neighbors has shown that he is a incredible wide receiver, and Kansas City's defense just has not looked great at all. I think that if Russell Wilson can come out and look like he did last week, other than the interception he threw, I think the Giants have a legitimate chance at making the Chiefs go 0-3.
You always say never bet a home underdog in prime time.
Yeah, but it also
I got
doesn't add in the stats when you have two teams who haven't had a win either.
I I think the Giants are going to cover. I don't think they're going to win, but I think the Giants will cover.
I
I
think
think
so.
that the Chiefs win by 3 or 4.
I can see that. I can definitely see that. But I can also see the Giants upsetting them. To be
Give it
honest
to
with
me.
you.
Greg. Give it to me. Inject it into my veins.
Like I said, I don't really
Oh,
my thing with Philly is that like if you took Philly, for example, they've lost a lot of pieces on defense. They're not the same team. They're just not. And I think the same thing holds true with KC. They're just not the same team. They have no receivers right now. They got you know, a middling running game, which, 2, 3, 4 yards they get once in a while when they're running the ball. I think their defense is still relatively good, but I can't judge the KC off of playing against Philly because Philly doesn't do nothing offensively. They really don't.
well, and Philly's got a very good defense, so I mean, it'll be a very different game against the
They
Giants.
actually don't. They actually don't. They lost all those guys. They only got a interior defensive line. They got nobody on that D. That's why they look the way they do. That's why they're running the games offensively, so they don't have to keep their defense out there. You saw the first game of the year.
That's
I
true.
mean, trust me, they're not that impressive. And I don't think anyone should even be fearful of Philly other than that stupid tush push. So I'm not going to use that as with the KC losing to them. So I don't think KC has all that much right now. I don't. And I think they're improved. I think the Giants playing against Kansas City, they're going to have something to play for. And don't forget who the coach is, who lost to Kansas City multiple times too.
Yeah.
So he knows how that offense gets run.
That's true. That's true.
So I mean, smart man would take KC, but if you're a gambling man, you take the Giants.
Yeah. All right, so that takes us through the end of the week. So guys, what is your best bet and your survivor pick of the week? If you'd like to think about it for a second, I can go first because I am ready.
Yeah,
Um,
go ahead.
but my best bet of the week is the over 42 and a half in the Bengals Vikings game. I think that easily hits. Two backup quarterbacks. There's going to be a lot of mistakes. And when there's a lot of mistakes, there's a lot of scoring. So give me the over 42 and a half in the Bengals Vikings game. And for my survivor pick, I am taking the Colts to beat the Tennessee Titans.
I think that Danny Dimes is going to throw 2 touchdowns for Indy. I think that Green Bay and Cleveland is going to be under. And for my survivor pick, I'm taking Green Bay.
Ooh.
You know you can't use the Packers again, right? After
Yeah,
this.
no.
Okay, so for my survivor pick this week, I'm going to take the Falcons.
Woo.
I'm going to take the Falcons over the Panthers. I think that's
I
a
like it.
given, if you
I
ask
like
me.
it. I like it.
If I were to take any game as far as over under, I would take the over in the Commanders Raiders game.
43 and a half.
I would take the over in that one. I think that game will go over. You don't have a quarterback on one side. You got a backup quarterback in that spot. Gino, let's be honest. Gino can score touchdowns. He can throw the ball. It's just that he has timely turnovers every once in a while. So I like that to go over. And what else do I need?
Uh, that's really it. I just said best bet. So, but
I
if you want to do a spread pick, you can do that too.
Yeah, no, I mean that's probably it. I mean, I probably would definitely if I were to pick a spread pick, I would take the Colts at the 6 points. It's
I want
probably
to change my survivor.
Okay.
I want to pick Seattle
Okay.
Homer.
All right. So
over New Orleans.
Sean's got Seattle. I have the hell do I have? The Colts, and T, you have the Falcons.
Yes.
All right. So that is week 3 coming to you guys live very, very soon. So enjoy this week of the NFL. We'll catch up with you guys tomorrow. So we break down the week that was, and looking forward to another fun week of NFL football. Thank you guys so much for joining us. Smash that like and subscribe button if you haven't already, and we'll talk to you soon. Have a great day. Enjoy the league.